Now let's shift to what are the risk drivers in fish. I'm going to speak about the top one and the bottom one here, but I do think it's worth mentioning the middle one. The top one, polychlorinated biphenyls, these are a completely man-made product that were used primarily in the 20th century, banned in the 1970s, but had a lot of uses that were very useful at the time. Legacy pesticides, the classic poster child is what? DDT, absolutely. DDT was one of many, and they were used quite extensively in our part of the world. They were actually manufactured at one point in the Willamette. But other things like chlordane, dieldrin, aldrin, mirex, toxaphene, a whole slew of compounds that we no longer use today. And does anyone know why? What was the reason we banned DDT? Was it for human health reasons?
Eggshell.
Very good. Eggshell thinning in birds. DDT, actually, the human toxicity of it is a lot less than many of our modern day insecticides that I have to deal with in toxicology today. The reason we banned it was because it was causing eggshell thinning in our beloved raptors, the peregrine falcon, the bald eagle, the pelican, and those have made remarkable comebacks with the decline of the use of these chemicals. But they still turn up in fish. One of the problems they have is that their half-life is so long. They accumulate in the fats of the body, and they just persist. DDT was banned in 1972, and yet we still find primarily its breakdown product, DDE, in animal tissue, fish tissue, our tissue. And then the last one I'll talk about is methylmercury. A fairly tricky one to get a handle on because so much of the sourcing for mercury is natural and part of our volcanic geology, which I'll talk about. So the issue with the persistent organics that I just talked about, PCBs, methylmercury, those old DDT pesticides, is the fact that they don't just play at an equal level among the whole food chain. They actually biomagnify as they go up. So if you have low levels of something like methylmercury or a PCB in the sediment, what it ends up doing is it ends up magnifying along the food chain as small organisms get eaten by larger organisms, which get eaten by larger organisms, till you work your way up to the top predator. We are a top predator, so are the things that we like orcas and bald eagles. And so these chemicals make their way through the food chain simply by this biomagnification process. And we are no different. If you take a plate of fish that's got contamination, in this case that is a DDT molecule, it'll go through a lipid bilayer and it'll accumulate in the fat. Okay, and I have that arrow pointing there for a reason. We are part of the biomagnification food chain.